Hey guys, my name is Krista Imaya. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to cut an off-shoulder dress. So please stay tuned as we go into this tutorial. And also please subscribe to my channel. If you have questions, please do ask. I'm willing to answer you guys. So yeah, let's get straight to the tutorial. Yeah, welcome to this tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about how to make an off-shoulder dress. So we're going to start by working. Let me show you the measurements we're going to be working with. We're going to be working with bust 36, nipple to nipple 3.75, waist is 28, hip is 40, shoulder to bust is 9, shoulder to under bust is 12, shoulder to waist is 15.5. My front chest measurement is 12, bicep is 12, and this is the formula for measuring armhole, which is equal to the bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So my bust is 36 divided by 6, which is equal to 6 plus 1.5, which will be equal to 7.5. So my armhole is 7.5. And check out the fact that my bicep is 12. So 7.5, that is for one part of the armhole. When you multiply it by 2, that will give you 15. You see, so if your armhole measurement as is 15 is greater than 12, you can use this 7.5 comfortably. But if you notice that it is not greater, then you may need to just work with you may need to actually just measure your armhole, because apparently some people seem to have irregular body shapes, but on a standard, on an average, this formula should work. So just divide your bust by 6 plus 1.5 should give you a good armhole measurement. Okay, now so let's start properly. So the first thing you need to do is to figure out the depth that you want for your dress. So for me, for a bust 36, I usually come down by 4. So what you do is to put your tape measure at 4, then from 4 you start taking your measurements. So the first thing we'll take is our armhole measurements. So here my armhole measurement is what, 7.5. Then my shoulder to my bust is 9. I mark that. My shoulder to my under bust is 12. I mark that. My shoulder to my waist is 15.5. I mark that, and 1/2 inch for sewing allowance. So after that, I just mark it here again. 7.5, 9, 12, 15.5, 16, and then I draw a straight line. Okay, so the next measurement I'll be needing is my nipple to nipple. My nipple to nipple is 7.5. 7.5 divided by 2 is 3.75. Then we'll add 0.5 inch for sewing allowance. So that will give me 4.25. So from here I make 4.25. So I mark 4.25 on the bust and 4.25 on the waist. Then I draw a straight line to connect them. Then on the upper part, instead of taking in 4.25, I'll add an extra 1/2 inch. So that will be 4.75. The reason is so that you don't have a funny curve at the upper part of your dress. So from the top here, I connect to join at the bust. Then from here, I'll take in 1/2 inch. That's for the upper part to be 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. Then on the bust, I go back to the bust line. I go up by 1/2 inch and come down by 1/2 inch. Then I use my ruler to connect from the upper part here to the 1/2 inch up here. So I connect 1/2 inch and I connect another 1/2 inch to connect it right here. Then on the under bust, my dart, I usually like to go in 1 inch for this bust. For bust 36, 1 inch is just perfect. Then on the waist also, I go in 1 inch, and I connect also using my ruler. I connect the points 1 inch 1 inch. You can decide to go in quarter inch more on the under bust if you want it to be very tight, but 1 inch is just perfect. Then on the to join the under bust from this half inch point here, we came down by half inch. Remember, we use a ruler to connect it to the 1 inch on the under bust and connect the under 1 inch on the under bust. Then we use our armhole curve because we do not want sharp edges, so use our armhole curve. From here we join it here to smoothen it out. We want a curve, remember, we don't want sharp edges, so we smoothen it out. Do it on the other side also. We smoothen it out. We smoothen it out, so you can see we're having a nice curve, a very nice curve. So now we're going to go back to our measurements. All right, so now for the front, remember our front chest measurement is 12, right? So to get a very nice, I do not really like my off shoulders to be very off. I like it to be moderately off. Do you understand? I want it to just start just where my shoulder ends. That's where I like my off shoulder to start. So what I do is I just minus 3 from 12. So my front chest is 12 minus 3. It will give me what? 9. That's the measurement I'm going to work with for my total front chest. So 9 divided by 2 is what? 4.5. So I won't go in more than 4.5 for my chest measurement. Now remember, we've taken our darts half inch here. We're going to need another half inch here to join. So that's half plus half is 1, plus another half plus half to join, that is 2 inches. So we are going to remember to add our 2 inches. So our total here is going to be what? 4.5 for our chest measurement. Then we're going to add the 2 inches for the dart and the sewing allowance. So 4.5 plus 2 is what? 6.5. So our total here we are going to get is what? We are going to mark is 6.5. 6.5. Then our chest, we're going to measure our bust measurement on our chest. So on our chest, our bust is what? 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Then we're going to add the 2 inches that we added here in the chest. We'll add it back here. That will be what? 11. Then I usually like to leave 2 inches sewing allowance. I usually like to use 2 inches sewing allowance. So remember, our bust is 36. 2 inches allowance we took here, we'll put it back here for the dart and sewing allowance. Then our allowance for sewing the dress, that is 2 inches. I put it here 13. This is how I like to draft. You can decide not to draft your sewing allowance for your dress here, and when you're cutting on the fabric you can do that, but I like to do everything on my pattern. So that's that. Then on the waist, my waist is what? 28. So 28 divided by 4 is 7. 7 times 4 is 28. Remember, we took 1 inch here, 1 inch here, that's 2 inches. Then sewing allowance, that'll be 1 inch. So 2 inch plus 1 inch, that's 3 inches. So we're going to add the 3 inches to this measurement. So 7 plus 2 is what? 10. Then remember the 2 inches sewing allowance that we usually use, that we will use for 2 inches sewing allowance for the dress, that is 12. Yes, that's 12. So this is our waist measurement. Then I usually do not take measurements for the under bust for those who are, you know, of average measurement. But if the person is like a pregnant woman or somebody who has given birth and they have a very big stomach, you will need to take their under bust measurement and impute it. But usually I don't, for people that have the normal body measurements. But you can always take your under bust measurements and add it. So from here, all I do is to do what? Is to just draw a straight line to join it. So just draw a straight line there. So that's it. I just draw a straight line there. So now from here, I just put my armhole curve here to this other, to where the armhole starts, and I join it. Yes, that is it. So now let us take the measurements from here to here. it is about 6 inches when you measure it. Usually I advise that your armhole line here should not be more than 7. You should not, if it's more than 7, you will notice you start having folds here when you sew on your arm. So make sure it is not more than 7. If it's more than 7, you will need to shift back in. But if you do the way I've done it, you most likely not have more than 7 inches on your armhole line. Then remember we started from 4. I can come, maybe I want to do a sweetheart neck line. I can come down as much as 6 inches. I want to do a 6 inch. I do not really like for my body to show when I make dresses, so I try to just make it very, very, very moderate. So from here I just come down 6 inches. Then I use my armhole curve. I'll curve from here to meet the 6 inches mark there. So yes, so we have a nice sweetheart neck. Have a nice sweetheart neck line. So this is the front bodice. So this is your sewing allowance. All right. For the back bodice, we are going to do the same thing. You take your tape measure and measure down 1 inch, 1 inch. Then you draw a straight line. Then from there, remember the other one we did step from 4 inches. We came down 4 inches. So from 4, we put our tape measure at 4 inches and start taking our measurement. So we took 7.5 for our armhole. For our armhole, then we measure 9. Then we don't need to measure our under bust here. We just go straight to our waist, which is 15.5, then 16 for sewing allowance. So we do the same thing here to help us get a straight line. So 7.5, then we come down at 9, then we do 15.5, then 16, and then we draw a straight line to join the points. Draw a straight line to connect the points. Okay, so here we are going to do the same thing that we did. This is our chest. This is our, we can say, bust line, and this is our waist. So from the bust line, we measure the same thing we measured for the front bodies. That's 4.5, 4.25, 4.25. Then we join it. Then here too, we can still do the same thing to join at the chest. The chest is not going to have, we're not going to take any darts from the chest at the back, so it's okay for us to, we're not taking any darts from the back, so it's okay for us to, you know, take it straight. So we just take it straight and connect. The back bodies, we do the same thing. We come down by 1 inch, we come in by 4.25. We draw a straight line from the chest down to the waist. That's all we do. Yeah, so remember here 7.5, 9, 15.5, then 16 for the sewing allowance. So what we do now for the dart of the back, you can go in half inch, or you can go in 1/4 inch. I usually like to go in 1/4 inch here. Then what I do is to draw from here a straight line to the front, to the bust line. So draw a straight line, yeah. So that's what I usually do. Remember our front chest, we decided to use 4.5. So here we're not taking any darts in front here, so all we need to join it, because we're going to cut this place open, is 1 inch. So we need half inch here, that's 1 inch. So we just add 1 inch to 4.5, that would be what, 5.5. So go in what, 5.5. 5 here. And then we measure our bust point on the chest. Remember, our bust is what? 36 divided by 4, that is 9. And we took 1 inch for the dart, so whatever we take here, we place it here, so that is 10. And then the 2 inches that we took, and the 2 inches that we use for sewing allowance, that's what? 12. And on the waist, our waist is what? 28, that is 7. And then remember, we took quarter inch, that will be 1.5, so that will be 1.5, that will be 8.5. And then the 2 inches for sewing allowance, they'll use our 2 inches for sewing allowance. And then we will do what? We will join it. On the back too, for the neckline, we can still go in as much as 6. We can go in as much as 6 if we want, but me, I think I would like to just do 5.5 at the back here. I told you I don't really like my dresses to expose me, so I really just like to be very minimal. So from here, from the armhole line here, I just use my armhole curve. This is my armhole curve. If you do not have this armhole curve, I'll probably make a tutorial. You can write a comment down below if you want me to show you a tutorial on how to make this armhole curves. You can, I will teach you in a tutorial if you are interested in it. Okay, then from there, using my same armhole curve, I just take it, join it from here to here, and then I join here. So this is my back bodice. So now let us do an experiment. Remember the front, when we measure the front, we add 6 inches. Let's measure the back. You see we have about 6 inches too, so you can see the front and the back armhole here, the line, it is the same thing. If you do not do it the way I've asked you to do it, you will have your front to be either shorter or longer, and then when you want to attach the sleeve, you're going to have issues. So always cross check your armhole here to make sure that you have exactly the same with the one in the front. So what we do now, we are going to cut our pieces out. We are going to cut it out. We cut it out. So this is our back bodice. This is our back bodice. Then our front bodice too, the same thing. We'll cut it out. When you are cutting, try to make sure you don't have sharp edges. We don't want sharp edges. You can see it's smooth here, so try to make sure you do not have sharp edges when you are cutting. Try to make sure there are no sharp edges when you are cutting. And I always advise to have a separate scissors for cutting fabric and for cutting your cutting paper. So this is the front measurement. Remember, when you want to cut on your fabric, this will be on fold. You put your fabric on fold and cut, so that when you open it, you have your both sides. You put this one on fold too, then you cut. Remember, don't cut here, or this place is going to be on fold, and you cut this one too. You need 2 pieces of this, 2 pieces of this. This is your front bodies. And then the back bodies too. Remember, this is the back. You need your zip allowance. Your zip allowance, do not forget to put your zip allowance. Very, very important. So put this on fold, put your zip allowance on, cut your zip allowance on your fabric. Do not forget, this is very, very important. Your zipper allowance. So we've come to the end of this tutorial today. If you have questions, if you have comments, please comment down below and I'll be very willing to answer your questions. Thank you very much. We'll meet again in our next tutorial. Bye.